Hello, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today we're doing our shaky cam interior review inside a 2018, I can't figure out how to turn off the climate, there it is, 2018 Ford Expedition. This is the Platinum Edition, so it has just about every goodie available. You'll see some Ford F-150 lookalikes in here. There are several things that are shared on them, and I'll try to point a few of those out as we go. But this is a beautiful, big SUV, really capable, has a great drivetrain, drives really well, and gets around and is more capable than it seems it should be, with really good fuel economy too. Another surprise here. So you can easily get into the mid-20s for your highway fuel economy with this, and it has the 3.5 liter turbocharged V6, 10-speed automatic transmission, and actual four-wheel drive. So again, one of those things that's shared with the F-150. So we'll just get started here. The door handles, you squeeze this to open the door. That's the latch right there. Takes a minute to get used to that, and you really want to dump things behind this, and then you figure out it's not a good idea. Ford was smart enough to make this pass all the way through, so if you do drop something in there, it ends up down there. So at least it doesn't jam the latch. Over here you have your windows and mirrors. You can fold in the mirrors here, and you can auto set that too, so when you lock the car they automatically do that. And this turns off the back windows for kids and whatnot. Seat memories up there, also the door locks. Over here you have your seat top folder. So in the very back row, the third row of this, you can drop the headrests on those seats. Just pushing that gives you your full visibility out the rear glass. Nice little touch there. This opens the rear hatch, so make sure you're pushing that, not that, if you're on the go. Down here is the lighting controls. So you have your fog lamps over there, lights over here. Auto is on the far right. Over here's the dimmer. This dims the well, obviously. Down there is the parking brake. Pull it to set it, push it in to turn it off. Over there's the pedals. That moves the pedals in and out. So the driver pedals over there move in and out with that. That is a Platinum package thing. I don't know that it's available in any other package in this. Also the steering wheel tilt and telescope. Whoa, let me just do that to the screen because that doesn't make you sick. Anyway, the steering wheel's tilt and telescope is also electronic. You can just see that right there. So it's actuated. It's a fancy way to say it has an electric motor. So anyway, looking at the steering wheel proper, we can see a lot of things that are probably going to be very familiar if you are familiar with a lot of Ford products. So over here, I'm getting text messages, so the thing is beeping. I didn't disconnect my phone from the Bluetooth. Over here, this runs the driver's information screen, so it runs that up there. This is the expanded one. You see how big that digital screen is. The standard one is about half that size, sitting right in the middle. So there's that. This is the cruise control, including the adaptive cruise settings. So this is how far you are from the wannabe from the other cars in front of you. Over here, this is the infotainment controls. So this controls mostly what's on that screen, and mostly it controls entertainment stuff. So you can use this mainly radio stations and streaming control, but you can also use this to control a entertainment item that might be playing in the entertainment system, but that is a little more complicated and you have to set it up over there, and I would just recommend that you just do it on the screens back there. Back here, down here, you have your voice control stuff, which is pretty good. This has Sync 3, and this works pretty well. Here's your telematics down here. This mutes the radios. You just hit that, everything's muted. Kind of a nice thing to have. You don't know that it's nice till you have it. Over here, this is the windshield washer, wipers, etc. You push this to wash the front window. This dial here controls the back, and you'll notice there's no dongle over here. This is the first of the F-150 quirks. In the F-150, this would be the shifter. In this, the shifter's down here. So there's, you feel like there's supposed to be something here, and there isn't. But it's not that big of a deal. It's just an interesting thing because the steering wheel and column are shared with the F-150. All right, looking at the whatever this is, gauge. Instrument cluster. Over there you have the tachometer. Over here you have the speedometer. Up here you have a whole lot of gauges that show a bunch of stuff. So there's your engine oil heat. There is your engine coolant heat. There is your fuel. There is your turbo boosting. So the amount of PSI going through the turbo booster. Why you need to know that is a good question, because this isn't a race car or anything, but, there you go. Down here's your driver information screen. Down here is that's indicating that the auto start stop is toggled off. Right now, the system is doing it on its own, probably to keep the engine warm. Over here is your gear. So this, park, drive, etc. Over here is your direction that you're facing. These little lines are your lane keeping assist. I currently have that on. You can turn that off pretty easily. In here, if we were in gear, I'll just go ahead and do that. This shows you the gears. So that's pretty cool. You can actually see what gear, if it would stay focused, thank you. You can actually see what gear the transmission is in. Kind of neat. And it can be helpful if you can push this into manual mode and shift. I'll show you how to do that. It is, how should I say it? Inconvenient. It is less than convenient to do so. So up here is your vehicle information. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can set a lot of things here. So this has the trailer backup system. So down here on this is where you would set up the trailer for that. It comes with the special stickers. You put those on the trailers, on the I forget what they're called, the arms or whatever, on the neck of the trailer, and that gives you that aligns it so that the system can set it up. Going over, here's some power distribution and other stuff. So all your off-road stuff is in here. You can look at different things like here's your pitch, yaw, and so forth. Pretty cool stuff. Here are more basic settings, so you can change a lot of things. In here, you can turn off the adaptive cruise, so you just have normal cruise if you don't like it. Turn off lane keeping and so forth. Going back, vehicle info, you can look at a lot of stuff. I like the digital speedometer. You can look at what's going on in the transmission. You can look at your tire pressures, all of that stuff over here. Oh, and you can change at the very top, you can change the gauge view. So you can change what is showing across the top a little bit. So you can swap some of that around and move those. Kind of a neat thing. Over here is the trip stuff. This is where you find out what your average fuel economy is. This is where you set a trip meter so you can watch the mileage and say, okay, I want to fill up every 200 miles or whatever whatever you're doing. And then this is your view, so you can personalize stuff in here. So you can personalize the other menus to fit in this menu, and then do stuff so you can see what's going on. Kind of a neat thing, but I haven't found it to be terribly useful. It's just kind of useful. So there you go. That's the instrument cluster. Moving on, here you have your engine start. Here you have your trailer backup system. Most likely you've seen these. Ford's had this for a couple years now. It turns on that, runs the rear camera on that, and then you turn this to, you want the trailer to go that way, you turn this that way. You leave the steering wheel alone. You just run the throttle on the brake, and you turn this and let it do it and back the trailer up. For rookies or for a trailer that you cannot see, and I will say that in this particular vehicle, a lot of trailers are not very visible because of the smaller mirrors that it has Those side mirrors are much smaller than you would have in a full-size pickup truck. Also, the back is totally closed in because it is an SUV, so you have very little visibility out the rear window. So this would be way more useful in a vehicle like this because there are trailers that you will not be able to see terribly well. This will help with that. And for people that aren't comfortable and aren't good at backing up trailers, this makes you into a pro immediately, so that the couple, 3 times a year you go to the lake and you have to back the trailer down to the dock and you don't want to look the fool, there you go. Up here you have, this is part of the expanded stereo system, so it's a bigger speaker and stuff. This is a nice little storage bin. It's rubberized. You can throw stuff up there. It doesn't tend to fly out. This is the infotainment. Across the top you can see a few things. This is hill descent control, traction control, Duke's lights, lane keeping. So you remember I showed you the indicator over there. That's how you turn it on and off. Auto start, stop. When you push that, it turns it off and tells you it's off. You push that, turns it back on. This runs your cameras, so you can manually hit this to get cameras. Highly useful because if you're pulling into a parking space and this is a very long, big vehicle, so you probably have to nose right up to the edge of that parking space or the vehicle that's in the space on the other side. This immediately brings up the camera. Now you can see what's in front of you. Very cool, useful. And then you can hit it a few times and swap between the cameras and camera views, which is kind of nice. So infotainment. This is the Sync 3 full-on Ford everything system. Has a lot of good stuff in it. I really like the way it works. Wi-Fi hotspot, a few other things. Also, it has Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and it just does a lot of good stuff. So I don't have a lot of apps on here because I haven't installed very many, but it's easy to install them. This hooks to your home Wi-Fi if you set it up, and then pulls updates from that. You can also, if you feel like it, like say you have an unlimited plan, you could use your phone's hotspot Wi-Fi for the same thing. Then you can do it on the go. This is the only thing that comes built in. You can add things here. It pulls them from your phone, so you can see it's searching on my V20 to find them. It's not going to find anything, but it can if you have them. That same menu is right there. Also, you can set up a lot of other stuff. So you can quickly do the sound. You can set up a media player if you want to switch between them, clock, etc. Very cool. Right here is what you would do to Bluetooth your phone with it. You can do the same thing by hitting this, and it will say, hey, there's no phone pair. Do you want to pair one? And then you go, yeah, sure. And you go through the process. General settings are here. This is basically general vehicle settings. Over here, you can set up things like 911 assist, your Wi-Fi hotspot, in-car Wi-Fi. If you have that, preferences for Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and other things. Valet mode is nice. You can limit speeds and other stuff. Oh, I missed one. Vehicle settings. That's a very important one. You can set a lot of very vehicle-specific things in there. I've been using it. You can reset your door keypad. So on the doors, it's a Ford thing. They have those numbers. You can put in a number and it unlocks the car. Yeah, it's an easy way to give other people access to your car without giving them the key so they can drive off with it. Kind of neat. And then over here, multi-contour seats. You're going to want to get used to that because, boom, massage. Heck yeah, that's awesome. So the massage in these Fords has gotten much better. It used to be terrible. Now it's not bad. Useful when you're tired on the road, been on the road for a while. There you go. This is kind of the main menu screen. You can see some of the other stuff that you can do on here. Climate isn't going to be important because you can use this to set the rear. Otherwise, they can have control of it on the back of the center console. Moving along, because we're taking a lot of time in this thing. Here's your basic radio stuff. Most of it's pretty self-explanatory. Some of the stuff that you saw up there is down here, such as the sound settings and so forth. Volume, tone, on and off right there. CD player here. Climate down here. Most of this is pretty straightforward. You got your bun warmers, you got your seat coolers, and all of that. Most of this is pretty obvious. I will point out two things. One, steering wheel heat is here. So that button right there turns the steering wheel heat on and off. This button here turns on the auto. I'm going to go ahead and do that. There is going to be some fan noise, but you can see there's three lights. If I turn this down, You can see what that is doing up there. Basically what you're doing is you're saying, I want, in automatic climate mode, I want the fans to not go any higher than X. So I don't want them to be any higher than the lowest, the midpoint, or the high setting. That is important for sound. If you need to hear people in the car and they're sitting in the very back, if you're driving on the highway and you want to hear your music and you want to hear all of your music, then you won't have that. You can set it so you won't have that fan blowing and making noise that interferes with that. So that's basically that. Over here's trailer brake controls. Over here's the 12-volt outlet. There's a 120 outlet. It is on the back of this center console. I'll show it to you. Down here, wireless phone charging, couple of USB plugs. So this is rubberized. You can actually get a couple of phones in there, but it will really only charge one. It has to be laying the long way. But still, if you aren't using that, you can have the front passenger and the driver throw their phone in there and be good. This is the gear shifter. So this is what you use to, reverse drive and so forth. You push for manual, and then you can use these to shift the gears up and down. This is the least ergonomic way they could have done it, I believe. But nobody's ever going to be shifting gears manually in this thing, except maybe on the rare occasion you have a trailer going down the hill and maybe you forgot to go into low gear. Over here is your four-wheel controls. So you can see I have it in 2 high. You can set it in 4 automatic. That's good if you're on like a dirt road or the weather's a little bit skittish but not bad. It just automatically engages four-wheel drive as needed. And then here you have your rear differential lock, and here you have 4 low. 4A is sort of like 4 high. Here you have your automatic parking. So this is what parks for you. The parallel park in this is phenomenally good. It's a huge vehicle. That is a boon because it makes it so much easier to park this thing in tight spaces. Over here, it turns your parking radars on and off. You're going to want to hit that whenever you go through the automated car wash, FYI. Drink holders here. These are big American, big gulp sized holders. Very nicely done. You can see the leather. You can see that there's a proper Euro glove box and a proper American glove box. So we got everything, best of both worlds. Leather going across here because it is the platinum. You can see the leather through here. My only real issue here is it's a little bit monotone, but they did do a good job offsetting with these chrome accents and the quilting and so forth. That up there on the door matches this over here on the seats. Nicely done. I really do like this. Big center console. You can house, I don't know, a lot of people in there. Yep, that's bigger than most New York City apartments. And this thing here moves around and comes out and so forth. Driving along, we had an 8-pack of sparkling water sitting in here with room to spare. There was a purse, there was a bunch of other stuff. Really nice setup over here. A couple more drink holders. Back here are the climate controls. So there you go. And then you can see there are 3 rows of seating plus some cargo and so forth. We took this camping this weekend. I just finished vacuuming it. This was filthy because 3 kids. Anyway, and then on the back of the headrest, you can see the entertainment system. There are 2 of those, one on each headrest. They adjust this way for visibility, and then the controls for them are on the driver's side one. It has the play and the menu system, and also has the DVD player in the top of it. So you put the DVD down in the top. Other little things in here, they do have the conversation mirror. I like those names. So this little mirror just pops down like so. You can adjust it where you need it so you can see who's in the back and have a conversation. This holds your sunglasses. So, the Dale Earnhardts and all of you can have your sunglasses ready. And, the rest of it's pretty straightforward. This also has the giant panoramic sunroof, the I hope it doesn't hail roof. Otherwise, that's what we got. This is a really nice rig. I really like what they've done. It's not cheap, but nothing in this segment is, honestly. And now that I've driven pretty much all of them, I've driven the Armada, now I'm going to forget all of them because I can't remember. See, that's how it is. I've driven the Armada, the Sequoia, the Tahoe, and even some of the crossovers. So, but by far, out of the true SUVs on the segment, I would say that this one right here is my favorite. It's just really, really well done, nicely rounded, and for a true SUV, for those of you who need the ability to haul 1 million people plus pull a trailer and whatever else, this is it. It's got a roof rack. It's got the ability to pull a lot of trailer weight. I don't remember the number offhand. I'll put it down here. It's a pretty big number. It's pickup truck size numbers. So very well done. Really appreciate what they've done. So that's it. This has been Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com in the 2018 Ford Expedition. Talk to you again soon.